Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about McCarthy, the budget, the possibility of a government shutdown, what happens if there is a shutdown, what happened yesterday by the time y'all watch this, and what we can tell from that, and what we need to remember if things don't work themselves out. Okay, so if you don't know what happened, the Republican Party dysfunction was just on full display. The far-right Republicans blocked McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, who's a Republican, blocked some basic budget legislation that was going to go through in a floor vote, which, that's embarrassing. And in response, shortly thereafter, they just went home. They took their ball and went home. And they're going to take a couple days off. They're on a clock. They are on a clock. They have to the end of this month to work this out. And they don't really even have all that time. It's important to remember all of these events in case we do move into a government shutdown. Because if people have to work without pay or be furloughed, it's going to have an economic impact. If that economic impact cracks the egg that is the U.S. economy, you need to remember that Humpty Dumpty didn't fall. He was pushed. They chose to do this. And yes, specifically the far-right Republicans. They are angling, they are trying to get a government shutdown. My guess is that they think it's good for Trump. I've even seen some social media posts that lead me to believe that they think, at least some of them think, it would stop the prosecutions of Trump. So you have that. You can lay the blame there. And that would be a good place to start, but that's definitely not where it ends. Because make no mistake about it, McCarthy could stop this at any moment. All he has to do is reach across the aisle. His party has become overrun with infighting and dysfunction. The American worker shouldn't have to pay for that. But if they don't get it together soon, that's exactly who's going to. When government shutdowns occur, a lot of federal employees are furloughed. They don't get paid. That takes money out of the economy. That lowers sales. That hurts other workers. It's a domino effect. It is worth remembering that most people think the only way Trump can really win is if the economy tanks. And it certainly appears that there are at least some Republicans who are hoping and maybe even trying to make that happen. I don't think that the average American thinks that a good leader would do that. Somebody who is supposed to represent them would damage their economic stability for dear leader. But it certainly appears that that may be some of their plans. And McCarthy is not taking the golden opportunity he has been handed. All he has to do is reach across the aisle. There's a real simple mechanism using some stuff from the Senate, and this could be over pretty quickly. They could solve it. But Republican grandstanding and dysfunction is in the way. And it hadn't even happened yet, and the questions are already coming in about what happens to VA payments or Medicaid or Social Security. They will probably be fine. That's probably not going to be interrupted. But I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything for certain that says that, but I believe they will be fine. So the anxiety is already there because the questions are already coming in. If the anxiety is already there, it's already impacting the economy in a negative way. Remember, the U.S. economy, in large part, is built on faith. How I feel about it, because that affects spending habits. They're already hurting the economy. And they are running out of time to get something moving forward. Because if it's not the same as what the Senate puts out, then there's that process to hammer out the differences. Then it has to go to Biden. And I think that there might be a whole lot of people, I mean nationwide, but particularly in the U.S. House of Representatives, that need to take a civics course. Everybody has to agree on this. So putting forth something to appeal to the social media audience and making it as far right as possible, it doesn't actually do anything. It's not going to get passed. It's not going to get through the Senate. It's not going to get signed. They have to work out a compromise, and at this point, unless the far-right base starts to realize that it's going to hurt them and they start putting pressure on their representatives, it seems like the only option at this point is for McCarthy to reach across the aisle and get something bipartisan moving. And again, they're on a clock. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.